All right, this next video, this should be a rather short one. This is just about types of errors, okay? Obviously, anytime we're doing any statistical testing, errors can be made. And there are two types of errors that we're going to look at. And we are very original in naming them. We have a type 1 error, and we have a type 2 error. So, these two types of errors, to describe them, the type 1 error this occurs when the null hypothesis is true. Oops. The null hypothesis is true, but we mistakenly reject it. Okay, so the null hypothesis was actually true, but through our testing, we decided to reject it. Now, a type 2 error is kind of the reverse of this. In a type 2 error, the null is actually false, but we fail to reject it. Okay, so the null hypothesis was actually false, but we failed to reject it, thus, in a way, almost accepting that hypothesis. Now, one easy way to distinguish between the two types of errors, there's a real easy little table that you can make that distinguishes all your types of errors. So we have up here, what is the truth? And then over here, we have my choice, okay? So for the truth, if we say H sub O is actually true, okay? So let's think of this scenario. H sub O is actually true. If H sub O is actually true, what we want to do is we want to fail to reject H sub O. And that's good. That means no error has occurred. Okay, now the other outcome where no error occurs, this would be if H sub O is actually false and we decide correctly to reject H sub O. That's good. No error has occurred. Now, these other two boxes that remain, these are going to be the scenarios where we make an error. Okay, so think about this. If H sub O is true and then we mistakenly reject it, that's no good. That is where we committed a type 1 error. Okay, if you look back to our definition, the null is true, but we mistakenly reject it. That means we've committed a type 1 error. Now, if H sub O is actually false and we fail to reject it, that's another one where we've made a mistake. And in this case, we've committed a type 2 error. A couple other things to note about errors. When you choose an alpha level, so, when you're setting up your hypothesis testing and you have to determine an alpha level, and your alpha level is, if you're using p-values, that's kind of your cutoff value for p of whether you accept, whether you reject or fail to reject the null hypothesis. When you set this alpha level, you are essentially selecting the probability of a type 1 error. So we typically set an alpha level at 0.05. So what we're saying is there is a 5% chance that we are going to commit a type 1 error. So there's a 5% chance that that null hypothesis is true, but we're going to reject it anyway. Now, a type 2 error, this is denoted by beta, okay? And this is the probability of a type 2 error. But we will get in more to beta, to the probability of type 2 error and power and things like that that go along with errors. We'll get in that into another video. So basically for now, we need to be able to distinguish between a type 1 and a type 2 error, how we tell the difference between those, and what exactly each one is. So that is all for this video.